Halo, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dila Sofira. You can call me Dila. My number name 19029081. Okay, today I want to explain about the Macromedia about the graph of trigonometric. Jadi kali ini saya bakal jelaskan media yang sudah saya buat, yaitu Macromedia, mengenai graph trigonometric, yaitu grafik pada trigonometri. Okay, this is my media. The button is profile and exit and trigonometry about the basic competency achievement indicators and material. And then we go to exercise. The button is profile. This is my profile. My name is Dila Sofira. My number name, this is 19029081. This is back to button in left, sebelah kiri itu is home. Go to home. This is go to button basic competence. Basic competence. 3.10 explain the trigonometric function using the unit circle. 4.10 analyze changes in the graph of trigonometric function due to changes in constants in function. Y equals A sin B, bracket X plus C, and bracket plus D. Go to home. Competency achievement indicators. 3.10.1 explain the concept of a sine function. 3.10.2 explain the concept of a cosine function. 3.10.3 explain the concept of a tangent function. Go to home. The next about the material trigonometric. Okay. Material graph of trigonometric function. We divide sine, cosine, and tangent. The first, go to graph of trigonometric function sine. Sine. A function fx must be divided in its region of origin. If y equals fx equals sine x, then the area of origin is all x real numbers. However, given the angle, unit and the trigonometric ratio values, we will only examine the angle measurement is degrees. This is button in go to next, and this is button go to previous. Jadi ini button untuk selanjutnya, ini button untuk sebelumnya. Kalau button gambarnya sebelah arah ke kanan itu selanjutnya, arah ke kiri itu sebelumnya. Next, the button is the next. Graph of trigonometric function sine. Y equals sine x for x more than or equal to 0 and x less than or equal to 2p. Okay, we go to play the graph of trigonometric function sine. Play. Okay, step to paint a sine graph. The first, draw the axis x and y, and then draw a circle with radius of 1 unit. And then connect the angle of the circle with the units on axis x. Next, connect all the corresponding dots. And then draw a circle line from the tick pane. Okay, this is my, okay, it is a graph of sine. And by looking at the sine value for all spatial angles, we can match the angle measurement with the sine value for each of them. Okay. Ini merupakan grafik dari sin. Nah, ada juga sudut-sudut istimewanya seperti ini, 0 dengan 0 derajat, I per 6 dengan setengah gitu. Ini adalah sudut-sudut istimewa dari grafik kita tulis tersebut. Okay, go to next. From the graph above, from the graph sine, the information obtained is the first, for all x angle measure, the maximum value of the y equals sine x, function is 1, and the minimum value is -1. The second, the curve of the y equals sine x, function is a wave. The third, for one period, one full term, the y equals sine x, function curve has one mountain and one valley. The next, the value of the sine function repeats when in the same valley or mountain. And then for our angular measure x, the area of the function y equals sine x is y more than or equal to -1 and y less than or equal to 1. Okay, with the concept of function graph y equals sine x, then a combination of sine function can be formed. For example, y equals to sine x, y equals sin 2x, and y equals sine bracket x plus p or divided 2. Oke, itulah penjelasan mengenai bagaimana cara kita menggambarkan grafik sine. Kita next. Okay, the next material about the graph of trigonometric function cosine. Okay, go to graphic trigonometric function. Sebelum kita lanjutkan, mohon didengarkan baik-baik kepada student untuk memperhatikan bagaimana untuk menggambarkan grafik ini. Okay, next, graph of trigonometric function cosine. Y equals cosine x for x more than or equal 0 and x less than or equal to 2p. Okay, go to play the draw in graph of trigonometric function cosine. Okay, the playing. Okay, step the draw in cosine graph. Draw the axis x and y and draw a circle with radius 1 units. Next, connect the angle of circle with the unit on x. Next, connect all the corresponding dots and draw a circle line from the thick pen. This is a graph of cosine trigonometric function. Using the cosine value or for a special angle, we can determine the pairs of points that satisfy the function. Y equals cosine x for x more than or equal to 0 and x less than or equal to 2p. Oke, di sini kita lihat ya gambar dari grafik cosine-nya. Di sini sudah dijelaskan bagaimana cara menggambarkannya tadi, sudah dilihatkan perlahan bagaimana menggambarkannya. Terus di sini juga bakal ada sudut-sudut istimewanya, bagaimana cara kita bisa menggambarkan ini. Kita next ke kesimpulannya, nanti di mana grafik ini bisa kita simpulkan. Next, the button next. From the graph cosine, the information obtained the first for all x angle measurement, the maximum value of the y equals cosine x function is 1 and the minimum value is -1. The second, the curve of the y equals cosine x function is a wave. The third, for one period, one full turn, the function curve y equals cosine x has one valley and 2 half mountain section. Okay, the next, periodically, the value of the cosine function repeats itself, sometimes increasing and sometimes decreasing. Next, for all angular measures x, the area of the function y equals sine x is y more than or equal to -1 and y less than or equal to 1. Oke, itulah penjelasan bagaimana cara kita menggambarkan grafik dari grafik cosine tadi. Terus sudah dijelaskan grafik cosine-nya bagaimana bentuknya tadi. Ini sedikit kesimpulannya. Kita lanjut ke the next material. Graph of trigonometric function tangent. Okay, next, tangent. Okay. Y equals tangent x for x more than or equal to 0 and x less than or equal to 2p. Okay, go to play the draw graph of trigonometric function tangent. Okay, the first, the draw in trigonometric tangent graph. The first, draw the axis line and y, and draw a circle with radius 1 units. And next, connect the angle of the circle with the unit on x. Next, connect all the corresponding dots, and then draw a circle line from the thick plane. Okay, Terlihat inilah grafik dari grafik tangent, grafik tan gitu. Teman-teman lihat ya bagaimana tadi pelukisannya, bagaimana cara langkah-langkahnya. Terus, using the tangent value for a special angle, we can determine the pairs of point that satisfy the function. Y equals tangent x for x more than or equal to 0 and x less than or equal to 2p gitu. Ini bentuk sudut istimewanya. 0 dengan 0 derajat gitu. Pi per 6 itu sama dengan 30 derajat dengan akar 3/3. Jadi gambarnya seperti ini nanti grafiknya. Go to next. From the chart, from the graph tangent, it can be seen that the first, if x gets closer to p divided 2 from the left, then the function value is getting bigger, but the biggest value cannot be determined. The second, if x approaches p divided 2 from the right, then the function value gets smaller, but the smallest value cannot be determined. The third, this condition is repeated when x approaches 2p, 3p divided 2, meaning that the function y equals tangent x doesn't have a maximum or minimum value. Itu kesimpulan dari grafik tangent kita, grafik tan kita. Next. Okay. It's time for a student. This is it's time. Okay. It's time you exercise from the explain of the graph of sine, cosine, tangents. Student, please make the graph on the sheet of paper that has been distributed. This is an exercise for students as well as a graph with a conclusion. It's time for you to practice drawing the sine, cosine, and tangent graph. I give you millimeter books, and you student prepare the stationery below: pencil, ruler, anchor, and eraser. I hope you the exercise good job. Semoga kamu mengerjakan tugas ini bisa dengan bagus dan lukislah grafik ini dengan baik-baik seperti yang sudah ada di yang saya berikan, itu millimeter books yang bisa kamu gambarkan di sini. Oke, thanks for attention. Itulah penjelasan mengenai Macromedia saya. Mohon maaf apabila ada kesalahan. Thanks for attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.